Welcome back to the channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be talking on how to make a simple crop top. Alright, so I'll be making use of this piece of fabric, my pattern paper, my tape, pen, my scissors, chalk, and other necessary materials for this. Alright, so because to create a basic body, this is a basic body from here to here. Alright, so this is my shoulder, the shoulder slope, 1 inch shoulder slope, my chest line, my nipple points, my underbust, then the full length of my top. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to impute now is the measurement. So my round measurements. So the bust measurements, I have 9.25 after dividing by 4 inches. The waist, I have 8 inches. So to my waist measurement, I'll be adding 1.5 inches for my dart and dart intake. And I'm going to connect these two together. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to mark is my dart line. That is your nipple to nipple. That is what I'm marking here. And I'm going to connect it down. Then coming to this waist line, I'm going to mark 0.75 on both sides of the dart leg. That is my dart intake. Remember, I added 1.5 inches extra. Then I'm going to connect it to my nipple points on my bust line points. So this is what I have here. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is coming to my chest line. Now I'm going to insert my shoulder measurement to this my chest line. So chest line, the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. This is 8 inches. Then from that 8 inches, I'm going to come in by 2 inches again. This is my 2 inches and came in by 2 inches. So from these 2 inches, I'll go up by 4 inches. So this is going up by 4. Then I'm going to make a rule. I'm trying to form a new armhole. This is where it's going to be. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to remake my armhole. This is what my armhole is going to look like. Alright, this is my new armhole. Then I'm going to trim it out. This is your cutting it out. So this is what the front piece will look like. I'll be using this to cut out the front. I'm going to close up these darts. Okay, so this is what my front is going to look like. Then remember, there is going to be, you're going to gather it a little at this point so it will come in. So this is what the front piece look like. Next I'm going to be working on is the, so I'll be using this. This is a basic body for the back. There is no zip allowance, but there is going to be loops to it. So this is my chest line. So I'm going to come 1 inch down from the chest line to get my 1 inch down to get my where my dart will start from. Alright, then I'm going to insert my 4 inches for my dart leg. Then I'm going to connect it. Okay, this is where my dart is going to start from. Then I'm going to mark 0.75 inches on both sides of the dart. Then connect it to this point. Okay, then coming to the center point of my dress on my pattern paper, I'll mark 1/2 inch and connect it to the half of my armhole. Alright, so on this point now, this point I'm going to mark half 0.25 inches on both sides to enable me close my darts well. You understand? Then I'm going to connect it to my darts leg. So I'm going to close this up entirely. So this is what I have. Okay, so now I'm going to trim off this one. I marked the ½ inch. I marked on the center points of our pattern paper. Okay, then coming to this point now, all right, I'm going to mark 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch from my dart that is in here. Then this side I'm going to mark 2 inches to this point. From this point now, 2 inches in. Then I'll connect it to this point. All right, so now I'm going to cut out. I'm cutting this out. And I'm cutting this out. So this is what the back parts would look like. So I'm marking this arrow to know where it's down and where it's up. This is the up, this is down. Then I'm labeling it back. Okay, so this is it. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is to transfer this my work I did on the pattern to my fabric. You can see the fabric is very small, so that's why it's good to work on patterns on paper. So now I'm transferring it to my fabric. I folded my fabric into two this way, so I to come out double. So I folded it on a fold, place my front piece on top of it. Now I'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance to it. You can decide to add 1.5 inches. You can decide to add more. Okay, depends on how many you can be able to control or work with. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it out. So this is for my front. Then I also cut out for my back. So I'm also going to add some inches, 2 inches, 1 inch, 1.5 inch to the side. All right. Then cut out. So this is for my back and this is for my front. The next thing I'm going to cut out is a strap that will go to the back. You know, that's the next thing I'm cutting out. So the strap is going to be as long as, because it's going to serve as a loop for the back piece. All right, it's going through to the back side. So I'm going to be joining it later on. Okay. Now it's also going to have small ones. So that's what I'm cutting now. So this is what I have. Then we'll now start off with the sewing part of it. So this is our front. This is what our front looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do to this front is I'm going to hem this upper part of it. I'm going to hem it. Okay, I'm going to hem it. Then after which I'm going to join my ropes or my straps together. I'm going to join them. Okay, so I've hemmed the front, the edge of the upper part of my top. All right, and this is the strap. Is as long as I've joined it together. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this. Okay, I'm not joining it in lining, I'm not putting any facing. So I'm going to use this to pipe the armhole. Okay, use this and pipe the armhole. Then the remaining will be my strap. I also do the same thing to this other part of it. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up, place it here, stitch on it. That's what I'm going to do. So now I'm done joining this. I'm done making my strap. This is how long it is, as long as it should be. Okay, so I'm going to keep this front aside, though we're not yet done with it, but I'm going to keep it aside now. Then this is my back piece. This is one side, and this is the other part of it. Remember, there's going to be an opening at the back. Okay, so now I created some channels. This is what I'm going to be using, okay, to make loops at the back. What I did was just to fold it in. So now I'm going to place it here. Okay, hold on. This, I made a pipe, all right, and decided to turn it out. Just want to create some loops for my back piece. So I'm going to be placing this here. First of all, I'll use my needle to hold it down. Okay. I'm also going to put it here. So the same thing I'm going to do to this other side of it. Boom, 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 boom. So you can decide to add as many as you want. All right. And another thing is, depends on how long your top is. You can be given a spacing of 2 inches. I'm just trying to show you what it will look like. So now I'm done putting it. All right. So So the next thing I'm going to do now is, if I should leave it like this, it's going to be rough. So I'm going to cut out a band or a strap that I will use for folding. This one is not long. So I'll be placing this on top of this, all right, to help me to pipe it inside so that these rough edges will not be there. So this is my loops, all right, and I've attached the strap to it. So I'm going to hold it this way now. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, got on. So now I'm done with both the front and the back. This is my back pieces. This is what it looks like. All right. So this is the front piece. I'm going to flip it over like this. This is the wrong side of the fabric. Then I'm going to cut this an elastic, half-inch elastic. So I'm going to cut, let me say, 1.5 to 2 inches length. Then I'm going to get the center point of my dress, okay, and I'm going to mark 4 inches down. I'm going to mark 4 inches from here down, from the upper part of it down. So this is the center of my gown, of my top. Then I mark 4 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch this elastic I have on this that means I'm going to pleat it a little, then make sure that this goes in here to stitch it. All right, so that's what I'm going to do now. So you can decide to reduce this to half an 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So I'll do that quickly. So now I'm done stitching on it. Okay, this is it. I removed half an inch, so that means I worked with 1.5 inch of elastic band here. So this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is my back piece. I have to join it to my dress. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. This is my back. So it depends on how many inches allowance you use for your sewing. Do you use 2 inches? Do you add 2 inches more allowance? So I'm going to run a stitch on it, okay, on the 2 sides. Then I'll hem my down parts of my top. So this is what the top looks like when you're down. This is the back side, and this is what the front looks like. Okay, our top is ready.